Hello and thank you for joining me today. Well, this is the Friday, January 9th edition of our video devotionals, and we appreciate you being with us today and hope your Friday is going well. It is the last day of the work week. It's the last day of the school week, and that means the weekend is what I figure is Friday, Saturday, and then, of course, Sunday, the first day of the week, according to the Bible. And so hopefully you can have a great weekend, great Sunday. Then, of course, it's back to it again on Monday. But all of that, of course, is Lord willing, as we say. You know, the Lord could return before any of those things happen. So I know we make plans. There's nothing wrong with making plans and kind of being organized, but always remember the Lord could return or the Lord could call us home. So always be ready either way. But today is Friday, so we're going to give you something here from the Word of God. Genesis chapter 25, we're going to begin at verse number 7. And read down to verse number 10, I think it is. So find that if it is your custom. Genesis 25, that's exactly the halfway point of the book of Genesis. Hard to believe. Here it is, the 9th of January. So by the time we come back on Monday, then we're getting real close to almost the halfway point of the month of January. So I'm not trying to rush it, but that's time for you. So take advantage of every day. Even take advantage of the hours. Take advantage of the moments that you have. If there's things you want to get done, be careful procrastinating. Someone said that if you kill enough time, then time's going to turn around and kill you, and that's certainly the truth. All right, so notice here, before we read, again, I want to say thank you for all who watch. We appreciate the comments. We appreciate the acknowledgments, all of that, and we're going to continue to do these as we can. Coming up on April the 1st, it will be 6 years in which we have been doing these videos, but we'll say more about that when we get there. All right, so notice Genesis 25, it says in verse 7, "And these are the days of the years of Abraham's life, which he lived, 163 years." So Abraham lived to be 175 years old. "Then Abraham gave up the ghost and died in a good old age, an old man and full of years, and was gathered to his people. And his sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah in the field of Ephron, the son of Zohar, the Hittite, which is before Mamre. The field which Abraham purchased of the sons of Heth, there was Abraham buried, and Sarah his wife." I just want to take a moment here and tell you about a notable place, a place called Hebron, that basically is the place where Abraham was buried. And so was Sarah. So let me just show you some things that's interesting here, and then just make a very practical point. If you were to go to Genesis 13, we're not going to read these, but if you went to Genesis 13, you would find out that that's Abram's home. That's where he decided to make home. And while Lot, he chose Sodom and Gomorrah, about 16 to 30 miles in distance. Nothing conclusive about that, but about a day's distance from them. So there's Hebron, Abram's home. Then Sarah dies, and he buries there, as it's mentioned here. That is also considered Hebron. Interesting that Abraham's buried there, Sarah's buried there. Isaac, of course, as we're thinking about from the reading standpoint, Isaac, Rebekah, Jacob, and Leah, all of these notable people will be buried in Hebron, in this burial place that Abraham purchased for that purpose. Interesting, if you go to Joshua 14, Hebron was Caleb's inheritance. You know that when they went to the promised land, and there was Joshua and Caleb, the only ones of their age group, they went in, and Caleb, an 85-year-old man, says, "I want that mountain." Well, guess where that was at? That was this very place, Hebron. Then we find out that in Joshua 20, the Hebron was one of the 6 cities of refuge, so one of 6, one of the cities of refuge. And then lastly, King David himself was first anointed as king of Israel in Hebron, and he ruled from that place for 7 years, and then from Jerusalem 33 years. So it's a very notable place, and what's notable about it is it's a place where people were buried. It's a place where people lived. It's a place where people exercised faith in God, and that's really what makes the place notable. This is not a sacred place per se, but in our own hearts and minds, we make places where we made decisions for God. The place where you got saved, the place where you served God, the place where you got married, things like that. So we can all have these notable places, and what makes them really notable is the fact that you've exercised faith in God, like the people mentioned, and of course Abraham. He stands out, of course. Well, we're going to stop right there. Hope you have a great day, safe day, healthy day, good weekend, great Sunday. Lord willing, we'll be back on Monday. And thank you for watching.